So I imagine you're clicking on this video because you're frustrated at yourself, and that's okay. You know, sometimes it feels like we just can't seem to get anything right. That we're digging ourselves into our own grave in a sense. We're going through these loops and these cycles, and it feels sometimes like it's easier to run away from a problem than to tackle it face on, which is hence why we end up giving up on a lot of things that we start, and that is completely fine. So, you know, for me, this used to be a huge reality, right? So the majority of problems that I stumbled into, I would just run away from them because it was easier to do that than to actually tackle the issue head on, right? So from when I was a little kid, here's a major thing. I would never finish my video games. I loved playing games, and I would never get to the final stage. I always found like all my friends like beating their games. I was still on level 1, right? Because it felt 10 times easier to just play the first 10 levels a million times instead of actually going all the way through, because as you know, those levels got harder and harder and harder, and I just didn't want to do that. So I ended up just spending hours like playing the same levels over and over and over again, because for me that was like a lot more fun. And you may think this is harmless, but when I got older and I started actually having to get into hobbies and learn things about myself, this exact same pattern is something that stuck with me. For the longest time, like I felt like I just couldn't do anything right, and it was really rough, like emotionally. So, you know, I imagine if you're watching this video, that may be a feeling that you're feeling right now, that you can't get anything right. As a kid, as you imagine, I had to take the step. I had to take the step in making a change. So here's what I had to do first. I had to rewire my brain. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that real quick. So what is it to rewire your brain, and why are we doing it? Well, firstly, it's because you want to be able to tackle the root of the issue, right? Because you can just tell yourself, okay, well, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and then I'm going to commit myself to something. I'm just going to do it every day and then I'm going to do it. That's not going to do anything, because up here, you're still going to be thinking, okay, but like, what if I can't do it because I've not done anything else? And 99.9% of the times you end up failing that thing you set out to do. So this is why you have to rewire it, right? So what you want to do is you want to find the version of yourself that you despise. Everybody has it. It's like our inner demon, right? That's an intense term, but we all have this version of ourselves that we hate. You want to find that thing, and you want to just grab it and punch it in the face. Why? Because you do not want to have to deal with your own self being like your greatest enemy. You want to destroy that version of yourself, and you want to make a new version of yourself in your head. A version of yourself that tells you that you are worth it, and that you're capable, and that you can make it. Okay? So, great. Yeah, let's do that. Like, how do we do that? You know, it's actually pretty simple. So what you want to do is you want to re-engineer your psyche. It sounds complicated, but there's a lot of ways we can do this. And I think the best way to re-engineer that, part in your brain that kind of sucks is by using your words, because we tend to use a lot of words, and words, a lot of people don't know, are a lot stronger than you may think. So you want to just try using your words every day. Just take a couple seconds and talk to yourself. You might feel crazy doing it, but it's actually pretty useful. So you want to talk to yourself and just tell yourself some kind things, like look in a mirror and tell yourself, hey, me, I'm proud of you. Because sometimes we don't always hear it. So just say a compliment and smile at it, because it's nice. But we don't always get these things. So just being your hype person, like that can be really nice, right? So you may not feel confident the first one or two times you do this, right? Because you're in your room, you're in a mirror, like you're like talking to yourself. This is like a scene you've probably seen in a lot of movies, and you're just like, okay, this is really corny. But I'm telling you, the more that you do this, and the more that you tell yourself that, hey, I'm a winner and I'm amazing, you're gonna actually start to believe it, because that's how words work. The more you hear it, the more your brain starts to believe it, which is why a lot of times we have difficulty telling the differences between like dreams and memories and like stories that we made up, because like our brain is kind of, you know, it kind of clumps all of those things together. So just start doing this day by day. And once you start getting this part down, like just saying good words, you want to start taking this like a step further, okay? You want to start visualizing. What does that mean exactly? So once you're able to compliment yourself, like I said, this is where the fun part comes in. You close your eyes and you start to imagine yourself doing these things. So if you tell yourself, I'm a millionaire, close your eyes and imagine yourself as a millionaire, you know? And here's a good visual. So I want all of you right now to close your eyes and just imagine yourself running like a 10-mile marathon. So you're on like the fifth mile. So you're halfway through. And I don't want you to just imagine yourself running. Imagine the finish line is everything you desire in life. Anything you want, whether it be money, love, friends, anything. But to get it, you have to finish the race. And I don't want you to just imagine this again. Try to feel what it feels like to run that marathon. Do you feel tired? Are you struggling? You probably do. But if you get to that goal, you don't have to win. You just have to touch the line. You can get these things. Just imagine that. Keep your eye on that goal. Keep running. Feel that pain. And then open your eyes. Now you're back to reality, okay? This is a great exercise because doing this is sending a message to your brain and telling yourself, you know what? Maybe I am capable. Maybe I can just sweat a little bit and then boom, I can make a difference. And you're telling yourself that I'm worth struggling for, and that's a great thing. Now, boom, that's the first step, is just rewiring your brain. And once you start with the words and the visualizing, you'll be like a different person. Now, let's ease into getting out of the habit. What's the second thing? Baby steps. So now, once you do those two things, like I said, you have a winner's mindset. But now, we want to actually apply that to our day-to-day life. And this is what a lot of us seem to mess up on, because we find a goal, and we set out to do it, and we're like, okay, I can do this. I'm going to be like a master DJ in like 12 weeks. And then we fail at it, and then we go back to feeling like a loser because we're like, damn, I failed at this thing. So like, I'm not capable, and I'm just lying to myself. Don't do that. Here's how we're going to prevent it. Whenever you're starting something, I want you to do, hear me out. Let's pause. Can you guess? I want you to do the bare minimum. The bare minimum. Nothing more. Nothing more. This is going to shock you. But doing the bare minimum is the perfect strategy for actually setting yourself up for success. And doing the bare minimum is going to get you the maximum results. So whenever you start something, just start as small as humanly possible so that you can work your way up to the bigger and the harder things. If you want to be a millionaire, don't learn how to make $1 million right away. Learn how to make $10, okay? Because learning how to make $10 is a lot easier than learning how to make $1 million. So that's something that you can easily convince yourself to do. Once you learn how to make $10, you're like, damn, this is easy. Let me learn how to make $100. Boom, that's like another easy thing. So like slowly start inching your way up into that mindset. And you may think, again, like, this is silly. Like, if I want to be a millionaire, like $10 is like not going to get me there. But hear me out. Let's look at people that go to the gym, right? So someone may go to the gym and you may see them lifting like 15 pounds. And some people may make fun of them for being weak. But let's say that every time this person goes to the gym, they add on just 5 pounds to the weight. That's, again, like, you don't feel 5 pounds in the process, but they're adding it every single time they go to the gym, because every time they go, they're getting a little bit stronger. even if this person only adds on these 5 pounds and they go to the gym only like once a week, in a year they're going to be able to lift like about 75 pounds. That's not just like double, that's like triple or quadruple what they started with, because they just kept slowly adding on like higher and higher and higher. And in 2 years, that's like 150 pounds, like do the math. And likely they may start going to the gym more than once a week. So it may be even more than that. So we have to start small, because so many times we get caught up in wanting to win big, but then we end up falling big and falling hard and then losing our motivation. So what you want to do is set up yourself for success with these small victories, because they're going to be compounding. And once you start winning multiple things, you're going to feel like a winner, and you're going to be winning because you're actually going to be getting things done. So I highly recommend this step. Now, here's the fun part. You have to reward yourself. Don't forget to treat yourself, every now and then. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but this is really important. You don't have to like throw a party every time you convince yourself to throw out the trash. But, maybe if you do that, like watch an episode or two of one of your favorite shows, right? So rewarding yourself allows you to actually find a healthy balance between work and enjoyment. You actually get to feel more motivated to get things done, and then you don't feel as guilty when you're doing things that make you feel good. So it's good to find that balance. I remember actually when I auditioned to get into the acting school that I wanted to get into after high school, I would go every week on the school's like audition prep Zoom. It's something you joined once, but I just joined every week because it was a lot of information. And the audition coach asked us, she was like, "Hey, how are you guys gonna like reward yourself after you audition for the school?" And I was like, "Well, it's just an audition, it's like I want to reward myself like when I get accepted." And she's like, "No." I don't know. She's like, "No, how are we going to reward yourself for just auditioning? Because that in alone is a step." So I was really confused, because again, I was like, I'm not going to do anything. But then she got like, in a lot of the students on the Zoom were like, again, like, yeah, we're not going to do anything. But she got really, really upset. And she went on to explain how a lot of people, didn't even make it to the auditioning phase, right? Like a lot of people didn't even make it to signing up for a workshop. And just getting there alone is something that you should be proud of. And, as she was saying this, I was like, wow, that's actually, I kind of resonate with that. And I said, okay, after I auditioned for acting school, I'm gonna just eat my favorite chips and listen to some music. And I did. It was so fun because, every time I ate those chips, and I did get into the school eventually, I feel like even if I didn't, just, having that one audition day, it was just a compelling process. But every time I ate those chips, I just thought back to my audition. Not even like my acceptance, just like being there and singing my little, doing my performance, singing a song. It was just a really happy memory. So after that, I just really started making it a note to reward myself for even the little things. And yeah, boom, let's just wrap it up there, because I feel like those are the 3 building blocks of setting yourself up for success and, leaving failure behind. So I can probably make a video on each of these points, and it could be very in-depth, but I think that you should just take the time out to just, find a way to explore these things on your own, and just tell me how it goes. Like, try it out for yourself. Start your journey. And, if you enjoyed it, or if it didn't work for you, if it did work for you, you should tell me, because I really want to see people change their lives, just in these small things. And also, if you are into the affirmation thing, saying positive words, I actually made a free little document of like positive affirmations. If you want to check those out, it's in the description. And I made them printable too, so you can like print them out, stick them on the wall. You can check those out if you're into like the positive words. But yeah, Thank you so much for watching this video. If any of these points stuck out with you, please let me know. I would love to see what I can do to improve, and to also see if I impacted you in any way. So thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.